This is Too Long for a Voice Note, a podcast about everything and nothing at the same time, presented by Claire
and Enzo. Our podcast is produced in London. Some conversations are just too long for a voice note.
Hey, he's Enzo.
And she's Claire.
And this is Too Long for a Voice Note. Hi everyone!
Hello guys, welcome to a new episode.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
How
you.
Are you
Thank you. I'm good. Why I'm feeling like I'm good. Like TV presenter. Fancy.
Hi guys.
No, it's been all good.
Yeah?
Long week. I feel like it's been a long week, but it's been like busy with
Mercury
stuff.
retrograde, you've been.
Mercury.
It's
Thanks
been
God. 21, right? It's
21st,
over. 21st is fucking over, so bye Mercury. But I think this one was particularly like complicated because it was the moon and things and blah blah blah.
Well, the moon was in Sagittarius first, which is our sign.
That's why we were fucked
Then,
up. That's why
yeah.
our life was a disaster.
Then we had that. Then there was the eclipse season as
The
well.
eclipse,
If you
yeah.
believe in all of this, we will do a full episode on astrology.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Don't you worry.
Don't worry yourself.
But we speak about
Last
spirituality
week, yeah.
last week, so you can go to a previous episode
Yeah.
if you really want to know our thoughts on.
Totally. And spirituality, we talk
Yeah.
about more like spirituality
Yeah.
and religion, etc. But
So well, guys, just a reminder to subscribe to your YouTube channel, and if you're listening to us, remember to following us on Spotify.
Yes.
Give us a review, a 5-star review, obviously on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Just remember to like, subscribe, comment, and blah 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 blah. Share.
It really does help the podcast to
Yeah.
grow, so we really would appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah, how's been your week, Claire?
All good actually. I
Yeah.
was extremely busy at work.
Yeah,
I'm doing
it's
the
very,
hand
like-
gesture for emphasis. Extremely busy at work,
Busy week,
but it's okay.
yeah.
Last night I actually watched a good film. I haven't been able to tell Enzo about this yet. I was saving it for the podcast.
Like, why you were hiding things from me, Claire? What is this?
I just haven't had time to tell you. Well,
Okay, what did you watch?
I watched Awake. Have you seen it
Awake?
that it's
No.
trending
No.
on Netflix all the
No, no.
time.
What's it about?
I was drawn to it because it's got Gina Rodriguez in it, and I love her.
I know
She's
you love
in
her, yeah.
Jane the Virgin, which I keep telling you need to watch because
Yeah.
I don't think you'll really like it that much. It's quite like it's not really quite your thing, I think.
Okay.
But the abuela is from Venezuela.
Oh.
So they're like, she's like half Venezuelan, half Mexican. Anyway, so they kind of talk a bit about Venezuela. Anyway, that was like her breakthrough. She was in this, and she's actually a really, really talented actress because Jane the Virgin is very like silly comedy. It's kind of like a telenovela.
But it's still kind of well done, right?
Oh yeah, totally. But in Wake, well, this isn't a spoiler, but something happens to the world. She's kind of like a troubled ex-soldier.
Someone's
She
dead.
has 2 kids.
A soldier?
She's an
Ah, okay.
ex-soldier. So she's totally different. Like she's very like, she had like a drug problem. She's very like heavy vibes.
It's
So you meet her.
based on like current times? What kind
It's set in like the current day, but not really
Not
anything
really,
to do
okay,
with that.
yeah, okay.
She's got 2 kids. She's trying to kind of get custody of the kids back, etc. Something happens. I won't say what. But then no one can sleep. You cannot sleep. It's actually a really cool concept.
Cool.
And they have to figure out like, and then basically everyone's like losing their shit and going mad.
Yeah, but they're like feeling tired as well, or they're just
They
can't
are
sleep.
tired. They are tired and delusional, and then everything kind of happens from there.
Interesting.
I really liked it, but with one of those
It's
things
a horror.
where I would say like a thriller.
Like a thriller, okay.
One of those things where I really like the film, and then I checked it on IMDb. It's got like 30% or something, or like
Because like thrillers and like horrors and things, they always get a really low rating on IMDb or like Metatraffic. All of that is always
it was
like that.
really bad, and the
always like that.
reviews were savage. But I was like, I actually really liked it, and I loved it.
You know what? Like fuck reviews most of the time. Like if you like it, you like it.
I think you would like it. It's a very
I
cool kind of sci-fi kind of concept.
Oh, I like the idea of like nobody can sleep. Did they manage to sleep at the end? Or that would be like a bigger spoiler.
Don't know. That's kind of the whole point of the film.
Okay. I will maybe check
I think you would
Yeah.
like it.
Okay.
But anyway, that being
Cool.
said, I think it might be time for.
Are we ready? Are we ready? Enzo's secret topic of the week. I wanted to bring up this topic because we're in the Pride month. But like, it's like, I didn't want to just bring a topic about like what is Pride, what is not Pride, because maybe it's not that interesting. I don't know, like, I didn't find it like interesting because it would be too long anyway.
Fair enough.
But I was interested. Something really interesting happened like a few weeks ago that we discussed about this. There's this actor called Michele. Moroni. Yeah, Michele Moroni is an actor for 365 Days. It's like this huge Netflix movie that was released last year.
Probably like around May last year.
So anyway, he got really famous. He has a lot of followers. clearly there's a lot of people, including Claire, of course, that it's absolutely obsessed with him.
I wouldn't say obsessed, but I do think he is a very attractive man.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, he's always like... he's on social media. He has a lot of followers, like millions, like 11, 12 millions of followers. It was pretty
much like overnight success, wasn't it?
Pretty much
in
overnight.
this film, the film was kind of problematic, but then he became super popular. He
Yeah,
was like the breakthrough star.
He's like a
of
singer.
that.
He's part of like.
I always forget about his singing.
His singing. I mean, he's alright.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, he's a popular person, actor. He's like
he's a model now as well.
He's a model. Brand, blah, blah, blah.
I'm like, I don't like him that much. I'm like, he's been on this talk show. He's modeled for that brand.
He's from Italy.
He's actually divorced. This is where he goes on holiday.
It's a star sign is, of course. Okay.
But yeah.
So anyway, okay, where I want to go with this is like there was a controversy with him. I mean, I have to say his social media, as you know, it's a bit.
It's cringy. We do laugh a lot at it.
Because, you know, even though he posts a picture that he looks absolutely fantastic, then the caption is like, what the fuck?
Very, very bizarre.
It's things like, are you ready for me? Things like that. You're like, what? Or like, what's going through my mind? It's very dark. And you're like, he's like at the beach. It's like, what? It's weird. It's really, really like, okay. So sometimes we think like, I think it's like a strategy, maybe.
We think maybe because it kind of turned, didn't it? Like, first of all, he was clearly managing his social media. Then clearly it went all a bit strange, and maybe he's got a social media manager, but then I'm not really sure because then he really runs with it
because it seems very personal at the end, but in a weird way, because when you see those captions it's like, oh, you're fucking weird, but not in a good way sometimes.
Completely.
weird stuff. Well, that's not the most important thing. Like, you can laugh about it if you follow him, but the thing is, like, he got something really controversial because like 2-3 weeks ago he published a photo on his Instagram, and he was with a guy, like really like close photo. They were like both like topless at the beach probably, like, and it looks like the guy was his maybe boyfriend. Oh well, they were, you know, it was
brother. It was a bit because they looked kind of similar, but it could have been romantic.
Exactly. The thing is, the caption of the picture was like,
"Would I lie to you?
Would I lie to you?
Or I'm a liar." It was I'm a
liar, or something like that. So everyone was like, even I got friends, apart from us, we were always like laughing about his Instagram, like, oh my god, he's gay. I knew it, kind of thing, right? Because the picture was very like playing with, like, I'm gay, I was lying, kind of thing.
Completely.
And so we're gonna post a picture here in the video. If not, you can just go to his Instagram, you will see it. It's a very like which is nothing but like a man has a picture with his friend like close. But you know, this picture has like a vibe. Like it's a bit, it was intentional. I could tell it was intentional.
Totally.
And you know, this is kind of like a thing I would like to talk to you, Claire, because it's really like a common thing that's been happening for many, many years. The thing is, like, sometimes, especially nowadays, because, you know, like, thankfully, but nowadays, maybe it's like, it's trendy, let's say, the topic of, like, being gay, open with sexuality, being trans, all of that is a trending topic. And a lot of brands are jumping into this, for example. Like, we talked briefly about this in the past. Like, brands, like, playing that they are very open and very, like, gay-friendly just to sell. And, you know, in the past, we had a lot of examples, like Tattoo, the band. Like, they were, like, fake lesbians. You know, the thing is that we're using this as a strategy, and this moment, it's this post from him, it really looks like a strategy, and it looks like he was faking being gay to gain attraction. And because I'm sure he has many gay fans, he was playing with it. So,
of course.
So yeah, I wanted to talk about this to you, and I was looking on the internet, the terminology. There's like a word called like homosexual or homosexual. Homosexual would be like basically you're faking that you are homosexual to like sell. To like for a particular interest or like whatever. So yeah, he was like faking being gay for the sake of views, likes, comments, or like attention. Basically,
I think it really did feel like that. I think
we were both like, oh, what the fuck.
Also, the fact that he posted it in June, like which everybody knows is Pride Month.
That's a really good point. I think it's a bit offending. Offensive. Yeah, I think it's offensive that he actually is just this month. So it's like, are you really playing with this? That it's a bit evil, I have to say. I think it's really wrong.
I think the thing is, like, I really don't think he is gay. I don't think he's gay.
I don't think so.
Maybe if he is, great, but I don't think he is. And I think it's quite shady in a way.
And then he apologized on the Instagram stories.
On the stories, it was so, like, that typical bad like Instagram apology of
hi guys, you know, I'm very thankful for my fun for the LGBTQ plus community. Oh, never. It's like, okay. Okay, it was intense.
It's like, I love the community, but like, I'm not gay. He's just my friend. He's just my brother. Like,
yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's very badly informed. I don't really understand it as well because he's so wildly popular.
So what do you need?
He's got like 12 million followers or whatever. So what? And yeah, like you say, probably like a lot of gay guys already follow him. So why kind of do that? Maybe he's just trying to gain traction for it. I guess in terms of kind of pretending to be part of a marginalised group, I guess it's kind of like, I would put it hand in hand with like kind of cultural appropriation when people like white people take on like hairstyles that like black women would wear. That's kind of what it makes me think of, because it's sort of like, you know, they will be like punished for that or like reprimanded for having a certain kind of hairstyle, but then like a white person wouldn't. But obviously, hopefully now the world is a lot safer for LGBT individuals, but in a lot of cases it isn't safe for them. So for somebody who, let's say for example that he isn't gay, somebody who has some privilege that a straight person would have to kind of adopt and go into that is very, very shady. And I don't think that it's just an accident at all. I think it was very deliberate.
Very. Do you think it's a bit like, because there's a part of it, I think there's kind of like, I don't know if I say the word, it's like perversion. It's like people being attracted to it because some people, they seem like it's something different or wrong. I don't know what I'm trying to say with this is, like, for example, going back to Tattoo, the band. Obviously, there were other times, but there were like two women that pretended to be lesbians, and everybody thought they were lesbians. But it caused certain kind of like, how could be the word, like,
it's kind of like the unknown, or like the kind of, it's kind of like kinky kind of thing.
Like, like, oh, look at two women together, blah blah blah. It's so different. It's kind of like a perversion.
But that's not really. That's not why I would say that for Tattoo or for like women pretending to be lesbian, that's a male fantasy. That's different to like what McKelly would be doing, because he's already like, because for example, I don't know if you think this, but do you think you have more privilege as a gay man than a lesbian woman?
Well, you know, that's interesting conversation, because I think in a lot of cases, like, lesbians are way more accepted than gay men, in the sense of, because it's a woman. And there's a thing, and I had this conversation before, which is, it's a difficult topic, and I haven't wrapped my mind around it. I don't have a total opinion about it. But the thing is, for community, for like the society, like, it's harder to see like a feminine man, like a man with a man being feminine and very like in touch with the feminine part. So being gay, it's a bit harder to see like a woman with another woman, because a woman is still like feminine and they don't have to you know what I mean.
But do you think that's true though?
It could be true. I think if you ask anyone, I think they would prefer to see like a lesbian than a gay man, because a gay man goes against what a man's supposed to be, air quotes.
No, but you said a feminine gay man. So what about like you, because you're not feminine.
Yeah, but still.
And so like masculine. You think that's still more problematic?
I would think so in many ways.
Do you really
because
think that?
Even if it's two masculine men kissing, for example, you say like, they're so masculine, so big or whatever, so like macho, but still kissing each other. They're gay. Which I think where women, that has like a little. I'm not saying like women has like a more benefits or anything from being lesbian, but I'm sure like for many people, that's out of my judgment, it would be easier to see two women kissing being together than two men. Anytime. Maybe. Still, I do believe that. Okay. So
maybe then in that case, you think that what McKelly is doing is worse then in that logic, because
interesting point of view.
If you want to compare like Tattoo and what McKelly's doing.
But the thing is, if you post a picture with your best friend, let's say with wings, like this, nobody will think that you are lesbian.
No.
Nobody will even think, because feminine, blah, 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 blah.
I get what you're saying.
You can be good friends, you can be really good friends. But two men together like that, and we can go to a different route here, but two men that close, with no clothes, like together, kind of romantic, they're gay. Then they cannot be friends.
I totally get you.
It's a good point, because I thought straight away, they're gay, and you thought they're gay. And my friends are like, he's gay. You know, like automatically, because they're two men being too affectionate.
And you're gay. And
exactly.
Like, it's actually really, really messed up, isn't it?
It's messed up. It's mindfuck.
Wow, I did not even put 2 and 2 together and think of it if you turn it round in that way and think if it was like me and my best friend. Yeah. Like, it's actually really true.
It wouldn't create a drama, you and your friend being like that. It's like, imagine, I don't know, like J-Lo with another woman that could... Yeah. We got Shakira and Rihanna together.
But they were playing on the lesbian.
And they were playing on the lesbian, which is actually kind of problematic, but...
It is really problematic.
Nobody will think, like, for a second, like... Maybe nobody will say, like, oh yeah, Shakira's lesbian. No. But with Michele, we think it straight away. He was...
But then, so if we're going to probably, like, call this conversation something, we would probably call it, like, people who are straight pretending to be gay.
Yeah.
Homosexual. So, like... Rihanna and Shakira, they did that video. Yeah. They benefited off of playing lesbians, even though they're both straight.
Yeah.
So isn't Michele's doing exactly the same thing? So why isn't it a problem? Because people didn't have complaints when they did that.
Because, like, for women, because it's a fantasy. What you're saying. Well, what you say, because for women they're a fantasy, and it's okay. It's more accepted to be like 2 women, because also we used to see like advertisement, like campaigns, whatever, women together, kind of sexy looking, you know, like even like alcohol brands, everything is like always like 2 women, like touching the bond. But for men, if that happens, it's a gay thing. So, you know, it's we can go on this for a long time, but yeah, I think what Michele did, it was really wrong, and I think it was very planned, and it was very like evil in a way. That's what I think. It's not okay to do it. Like,
I think so too, and I think also what's really, really wrong and not fair is the apology that came afterwards in saying like, I love the gays, I have loads of gay friends, you know, I have no problem if people think I'm gay. Yeah. But guys, it's not like that. It's just an innocent mistake. It didn't even enter my mind. Like, that's very disingenuous. Yeah. Because it's not true. He
wanted to be... For me, he wanted to have like a moment of trending thing. Maybe he's releasing the movie soon. They wanted to put his name more like out there. So they did that. I wouldn't be surprised. But that's really, really, really bad. And probably for him, he doesn't even feel it because he's not actually gay. So he doesn't have any consequence out of that.
Yeah. So, and then we're going to unfollow him then?
No. Maybe we should, but so far we're giving him another chance. No, that's not. And, you know,
I will not be unfollowing him, but I do think it's problematic.
It's problematic. So
also just really problematic because you just got so many gay fans.
For sure.
So just enjoy that, you know?
And don't like play with that. Anyway, interesting topic. Claire, you have like... Clarita. We have 30. No, you have 60 seconds actually, double of that. Your thoughts about it. Like, maybe like, let's say like, do you think we should... Like, Michele should be cancelled for this. You should even help acknowledge for the, like, bitch, don't do it. What do you think about it? You have 60 seconds and you go for it.
Very expansive topic. I think we could really go on different tangents with this. I don't think he should be cancelled, but I think he should be careful. And I think that, yeah, like I said before, it kind of reminds me of that cultural appropriation thing. Like, he won't be vilified for kind of acting gay when he's not gay, and that's really wrong. And I guess it always just goes back to kind of like the LGBT community being treated in the same way and having the same rights and safety and representation as straight people. And if there was that, then we wouldn't even be talking about this in a way.
Of course, yeah.
And I really wish that like straight women wouldn't play to be lesbians just to perform for a male fantasy. I have a really, really big problem with that. I understand that it's not really the women's fault. It's probably like their manager. In Tattoo's case, like the manager. Yeah, but
it's a bit like done now, like overused and like
totally, and just very backwards. So hopefully we'll see the end of that, and hopefully with gay guys as well, that will be the end of people.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much, Claire, for your thoughts.
Gosh,
and like happy Pride Month.
Yeah, happy Pride Month.
Yeah, happy Pride Month. So you will check the picture. If you think us like it's really him playing something, just let us know. Let us know in the comments, because I think it's like a thing.
Very much a thing. Very, very planned.
Very planned. But anyway.
Today's episode of the podcast is in collaboration with Consume, an eco-affiliated marketplace.
If you are an influencer, if you're a brand, this is the perfect platform for you. You know, we love the planet, we love trees, we love everything eco-related. So what happened, Claire, every single time you purchase something through them?
Well, and so every time you purchase something through Consume, a tree is planted in your honour. So how cool is
match.
that? We're going to link everything below. Please, guys, do check it out. And let's get back to the episode. Well, interesting topic,
Claire, now it's your turn.
Okay.
What's going to happen now?
Time for Claire's secret topic of the week. So I wanted to talk about something that Enzo and I have actually been talking quite a lot about recently. What is that little turtle face? Like,
What topic?
I wanted to talk about friendships.
Okay.
And more specifically, like why it's hard to make friends as an adult, or harder. And kind of friendship falling out as well. This morning I was messaging with my little baby brother, Matteo. Hi, Teo. And we were talking about, I mean, he's a lot younger than me. He's like 23.
A lot.
Like 7 years. And I was asking him, like, has he had any fallings out or anything like that with friends? I'm sure he wouldn't mind me sharing that. He actually kind of fell out with a friend over COVID last year because they were breaking COVID restrictions, etc. So I think that's interesting. And also, I feel that generally, kind of probably no matter your age, that the friendships that you have changed a lot through COVID. Not to do with like whether you believe in COVID, whether you were like observing lockdown and all that kind of thing.
Experience that
completely. I think it's completely shifted relationships in so many ways. So that's kind of my topic. I just want to have a little chat with Enzo. Where should we start with it? Why do you want to? Do you want to talk about why it's harder? If you agree with me, for one, if you think it's hard, why is it harder to make friends as an adult?
I do agree with you in that topic.
Good.
Good. I want to fight. No, I do agree with you, and I think part of the, I don't know if it's a problem. I think part of the thing is like we really. In our 20s, I feel we're more flexible. We're still learning from ourselves. We're like, who am I? Who are you? Am I this? I'm not that.
Yeah.
And we're really more
changing a lot.
Yeah, and I think when you're in your 20s, you're also always you go with the flow more because you have less restrictions for yourself. You're more like expansive and more like because you have like. Maybe you know yourself less. Yeah. So when you know yourself less, you're open to more things. That's what you learn as well.
True. Very true. Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So I feel after 30s, which is like a thing, because probably in most of cases, when you reach 30s, you are pretty much sure of who you are in many, many ways. At least your persona is very well constructed. You know who you are, you like, you don't like. And when that happens, when you met somebody new, I think you have more filters. And those filters make things more complicated, which I think also go for like any type of relationship after your 30s. Because then you're sure of what, I don't like this, or I feel uncomfortable with this, I'm not, like sometimes you not feel like you will like, how you say it, like, I won't compromise something because it's like, oh no, I'm not willing to compromise that no anymore. And, and that makes everything more difficult in a way. So I think that's part of the thing. Like, have you made I'm like the grammar today is like, please. Have you made like any new friends in your 30s?
In my 30s?
Yeah, in your 30s. Well,
pretty much, I mean, I'm only 30.
Yeah.
But...
it's true that you're like,
30.
It's been like 2 months of my 30s.
I guess my entire 30s so far has been like COVID, because I turned 30 in November. So
and we became friends at your 29th, right?
And so it's like, so when am I getting mentioned? So when we
I'm gonna make this about me. So okay.
So we met when I was 28, you were 29.
Okay.
So we met in the August. I was 28. I turned 29 in the November. I'm like, when's my birthday? The November. But yeah, obviously you're like my closest friend that I've made as a proper adult.
Interesting. And it's interesting, it's
crazy, isn't it?
Crazy.
But no, not as like 30. Have you made any? No, because pretty much your entire 30s has been lockdown-ish, because you turned 30 at the end of December 2019.
But I do feel it's a difficult thing, because again, I'm not really open to compromise some things now. So if someone comes to me with something that I don't like,
do you know what I think I've had as well? I think I've been. Because I think I'm that not to make it about me, but I do think I'm that kind of personality. You'll probably agree that I think I can be walked over.
Okay.
A bit, like I'm very forgiving, and I can give people a lot of chances. And I'm definitely over that now. So I think sometimes that can make you a bit too like quick to write people off, because I have been burnt.
You're
in the
like,
past.
no chances for you.
But
that comes part of getting older and getting friends.
But that's sad in a way, because I don't think either of us will ever be like. Oh, life's awful, like, no. Like anything like that. I don't want to be like that, because that's just bitter. In your 20s, obviously, like, and I said at the beginning, like, you're figuring things out, and I think you're kind of, you really do cling on to people. And I've noticed in my 30s, like, I'm really way more comfortable with just letting friendships go. And that's something that I don't think I had before. I would say, like, I guess you're obviously my main friend I've met as an adult, but I do find, like, friendships that it is a whole different thing. And we talk about this quite a lot. Like, I think we'll be friends forever. I think we'll be friends forever.
Like, crack. I think we're going to be
I think we'll be friends forever because, like you said, like, we probably won't change that much.
True. That's a positive thing.
It's true, isn't it? Like, for example, like, if you get married, if you want to do that in your 30s,
check out the last episode, previous to
in the link, you'll understand the hate. You've probably got, like, a better chance of making it if you get married in your 30s.
That's a really good point.
It's true. Like, and I always think, like, to give, like, a shout out to my best friend, like, I always say this to her, like, it's amazing that we actually made it in a way, because we've been best friends since we were 11. Like, that's like 20 years. Like, and you change, and you have friendships like that as well.
I do, yeah.
And, like, the change, whereas me and Enzo, like, we'll probably go through, like, well, we've already been through, like, life events together, but, like, we'll probably shift a lot less. It will be more about, like, do you know what I mean? Like, our personalities probably won't change that much.
Do you think it's also, like, more difficult to make new friends because you need to really catch up with a lot of stuff? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you make your friends when you're younger, like, things are happening a lot. But, you know, when you make friends at 30s, you have, like, 30 years to catch up with.
Completely.
That's a lot of shit, you know?
We
like,
always do have a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yeah. And
there'll be so much stuff that we haven't shared with each other yet.
That's the point. Like,
I know what you mean.
And for us, it's easy because we clearly like to talk.
A lot.
And we decided to create a podcast. So we're literally going to have enough time to talk about all the bullshit we need to talk about life. But normally, we're not a friend that you met a friend, like, once a month or something. And on your 30s, you need to catch so much, like, relationship things that happened to you, what you did, I mean, a lot of things probably about you. I don't know. Like,
I can't possibly think what else that we haven't talked about yet. But you're right, completely.
So
like,
do you don't think that makes
and I think also,
more difficult to, like,
what you have.
It's
true. Like, what you have with other people, like what I will have with Wince is, like, a history that she just knows what I mean when I say something because she was there with me. Whereas, like, you'll need, like, more of an explanation as to, like, the background of, like, a family situation for something. But I don't think that makes me feel less close to you, for example. It's just different. But I also think, like, just because you have a history with somebody, that doesn't mean that you need to stay friends with them at all. And that's something that I think we're probably both quite bad at, like, letting people go. And I think I've really learned, especially this year, like, actually it's the right thing to let friendships go, like, no matter the time. And again, it goes the same with relationships. Like, if you're in a relationship for 10 years, like, you can't just be like...
Just for the sake of it, because it's a lot of time.
Just because we have history, or just because, like... Because that does stand for something. But really, like, it's not everything, because we've only known each other for 2 years, and, like, we're so close,
and that's a really good thing as well, because I feel like a friendship don't necessarily have to be, like, long to be intense. You know, you can know a person for, like, a year, and you can share, like, a connection or, like, intensity or whatever. Like, it could be the same as a 10 years for another relationship. You know what I mean? You can have friends for, like, I have friends for, like, 10 years, or I don't know, 10 years, but I have friends for a long time that are really not close to me, but they're still my friends.
Yeah.
And I know them for a long time.
I know what you mean. So it's not about the time.
It's not all the time, most of times.
I think it's about, like, the level of, like, intimacy you're prepared to share. And I think, like, really, we are very open with each other, and that's probably, like, forged a bond, like, quicker. And it's true. And I think also, like, it's a good point what you say, because you don't need to be, like, best friends with all of your friends and, like, acquaintances. Like, you can just have friends who you like going to the cinema with, or like having dinner with, or, like, getting really drunk with, or you can have, like, best friends and you share, like, all of your emotional things. But and I think that's something that I definitely have struggled with in the past. Like, we're not that close that we don't share everything, but actually, like, it doesn't need to be like that, and it doesn't mean that they're not valid.
You're a really good point with that as well. I'm saying, like, you have a really good plan a lot of time. Like, did you get all the validation for your topic, Claire?
Thank you.
Like 10 times the good point. But no, yeah, I think I struggle sometimes with that as well. I think now less. But it's a thing, like, it's okay to have friends for different things, you know? You can have your friends for, like, dinners, you have friends for just drinking, friends for, like, artistic stuff, maybe friends for, like, superficial things. You can have friends for different type of things, and it's fine. But I think for a long time I was always like, if I don't have like a deep, meaningful connection with that. It's not my real friend. But it's not like that. You don't need to have, not everyone has to be like your deep friend. You can have friends that you connect with them in a different way.
Completely.
Like, I'm sure I connect with you in a way I connect with my other friends and blah, 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 blah. And that's totally fine.
Yeah.
And I also think you get to that point when you get older.
You do.
And you start to see like, and you start to understand yourself more. And you're like, I'm okay, like I'm feeling good sharing this thing with this friend.
Totally.
But for all these things, I will share with this other friend.
Yes,
more.
it's true.
Because I feel like, I don't know, it's a natural thing, I guess. It's something that just comes naturally, or for the history you share, or for like
completely
circumstances. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I think I realised as I've got older, like I really need my like ride or die friends, which will be like you and Wince. Like you're talking to. Well, I guess this is just personal, but I feel like maybe you're the same. But like I have like Wince and Enzo, I'm talking to them 24/7 hours a day. All the time,
fucking,
you know, everything about my life, what I've eaten for lunch, everything, what time we're going to sleep, everything. And then like other friends who are really supportive as well. So it's like, but you don't need to, I don't need to be in contact with all of my friends
and
who I
fine.
love.
And they're not less, it's not like they're less important. It's not about that.
Exactly. And I think that's a slight like intensity that you lose in your 20s.
Yeah.
That you're like, but
also because you're right. I think you're right. I'm saying you're right again. I think because the intensity, it depends on the person and the experience that you share together, so that makes sense. So you don't have to share with all your friends what you eat that day, because maybe with some friends you don't connect in that way.
Exactly. I think some of my friends
totally fine.
Wouldn't care as well. They'd be like, "Why are you sending me this stuff?" Do you think that friendships become? I think it's making you a bit sad, but do you think friendships become less important as you get older?
Well, I think we touched briefly this last week in the sense of, because you know, like Friends, that quote, "Stay with me."
Yes.
Like, you know, Friends, they did like a reunion, HBO, blah blah blah, When I was watching the reunion special, one of the creators of the show, she was speaking like about why Friends finished, right? And it finished because they were having like families now and kids, blah 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 blah. And she said like the main thing is, when you're young and when you're in your 20s, basically, your friends are your family. Yeah. So they were a family because they were young and they were trying to build up all of that. But then, when you have your own family, you separate from your friends, kind of things. So because you have actually a family now. Yeah. But when you're younger, or when you're 20s or whatever, your friends are your family. Yeah. So I think that really like did something on me, like, ooh, so wow, okay. It kind of like hit like a weird spot, because I was like, I never thought about it. I was like, oh, I wonder if one day I have a family, I wouldn't, because right now at this point in my life, I'm always like, yeah, my friends are my family. Of course, I have family members that I love, but like my family are my friends. My closest friends are as any other member of my family. Yeah. But I feel like, whoa, if one day I get married and have kids, for example, like that will be my family. So what happened with my friends? I wouldn't consider them my family anymore. Ugh, and that's scary, really thing that made me think a lot. And that's a simple quote. And I was like, ooh.
I think it's a personality thing though, you know, because, and we've talked about this before, like I don't think friendships are important to everybody. For example, like I say, like we put a lot of effort, not to say it's good or bad, it's just a fact, like we put a lot of effort into our friendships, but maybe some people are not that first as well, or like just need like one close friend,
and that's fine, which is okay,
and a partner, and that's amazing, or they are closer to their family, for example, their blood family, and they're therefore, you know, that kind of evens out in that way. But yeah, it's that scares me.
You're like, me too.
I don't think we'll be like that. Like, if you have like a baby Enzo and I have a baby Claire,
we'll be like friends.
They can be like little friends as well.
And they can have their own
baby
podcast.
Baby Rodrigo won't be happening.
Baby Rodrigo will be like, no,
absolutely not,
absolutely no.
But they can all like hold hands and go to the park. Enzo's like, no, I don't want that. But it will be so cute. Yeah, but we'll have to see kind of how we go. Interesting topic. Well,
now
as always,
sorry for the quote. Now the mood is down. It's like, oh my god, my friends and my family.
Sad. Okay, well, Enzo has 1 minute to tell us what he took from this topic. Go now.
So yes, I do think because for me, I really live my own life thinking. My whole life for me, friends have been family, and I do believe that I don't want my friends not being part of my family. And I think I will be really unhappy if in the future I don't think about my friends like, oh, they're my family, you know?
Yeah.
I think my plans so far, and I think I want to keep them, is to keep my friends close as my family. And as I don't want to have a family and my friends. I want them to be like a whole thing, like a match, which I understand it could be difficult because then each friend will have a new family as well.
True.
But I think if your closest ones are really that close to you, you will manage a way to find them. And you know, like probably we're gonna have a successful podcast. Like we're gonna be celebrities in a few years, and we're gonna still work together, kind of thing. So why would we not family? You know, that's the thing. But definitely, I think
10 seconds, please.
At your 30s, it's more complicated because you know who you are and you don't take shit from anyone.
Absolutely
That's
not.
my conclusion.
And you are done. Thank you. Well, I really think that I'll be thinking about these topics for a while. They're quite
both
dense.
are very I think we did a great job. I'm like, we did a great job talking about
Be your own hype man, always. But I think let us know kind of how your friendships have changed. If they have changed in your 30s, I think we'd be very interested
we can do some polls on Instagram as well. That would be interesting.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram because we always upload tailored content for every single platform that we are on. Please. And we really appreciate your interaction. We interact with you guys all week through. So we'll see you there.
Yeah, and thank you so much for listening or watching or whatever. Check our channel, please. Remember to share with your friends because of how we grow and how like our work.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly.
Please, thank you very much and see you next week.
See you next week, guys. Bye.